All right. All right, so anyone new to this, I'm basically just sitting here playing some stuff, fun. And then if anyone has a question, I'll try to answer that as best I can. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And also want to make sure you know about the practice room, which is my free community, which also has a paid tier now. So you can get courses and all kinds of stuff and some help from me as well. If you sign up for that, but that's completely optional. Hey, Kentucky. Nice to see you, man. Let's put that in the, let's see. There we go. Yes, it's finally shred o'clock, Jelly. Yes, do you have any questions? I saw your comment actually. Thank you. So if you have any questions, just shoot. I'll try to help you. And while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna show you guys this. So here's the free community. Basically, when you go to the link, and you get challenges, free lessons, very cool community. And then you can upgrade to this one, where you get this technique deep dives is basically weekly lessons and a monthly focus. So basically going between different focuses. So far we've done alternate picking, sweep picking, legato, hybrid picking, and now we have a timing deep dive currently, and the next one is tapping, and then back to alternate picking, but from a new angle. So that's a really cool one. And then all the available courses in the classroom, and I can help you if you get stuck on any of the lessons in the classroom. Weekly Q&A live stream, and so on. And this is basically for people who want to do more one-on-one with me. But this one I think is really good for a lot of people. Plus, it's only for the first 50 members, where it's $29. Check that out. There we go. Hi Josh, hi John, can you talk a bit about how we can practice using all the techniques you help us with to make good solos improvise? Well, not everyone is going to be interested in all the techniques, right? Because some people don't like sweep picking, don't ask me why, but I think a lot of people think that sweep picking have to be like, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be, you know, just a way to play a phrase like that, which would be very annoying to do with alternate picking. But for improvisation, I find it's best to work on that. Like you pick a subdivision, so 2 notes per beat, 3 notes per beat, whatever you want to do. And then you decide on a technique to work on doing that. So let's say we do this in a Dorian, and I do alternate picking. The goal here is just to being able to move around the Dorian scale, you know, without making any major mistakes. And trying to make some musical sense to it, but you're kind of boxed in by doing a specific subdivision, which is great for timing as well. But it's just the subdivision is there so you can't do this. You know, just start and stop. You want to be able to maintain a flow, right? And then you can do that with all the different techniques individually, but then you can also start doing like, all right, I want to combine legato and alternate picking. And then you can, maybe you decide to go right, so you go between the alternate picking and legato, and if so you can decide yourself how much do you want to include of each technique. But since you do this in an improvisational manner, instead of having like, oh, I have to go you know, that can be good too, but if you really want to be able to use the techniques spontaneously, I think it's a good idea to set it up in a non-spontaneous manner first, and practice that, and that will give you the technique and the confidence to do them more spontaneously. And then that's pretty much it. And then for solos, learn the solos that you like and see how your favorite players combine them. Hi HR, nice to see you, man. Hey Patrick, nice to see you. Let's see, do you think it's best to separate time and practice several things, or dedicate all the time to one thing? I don't think doing one thing till you get it down is a good method, unless you're quite close to getting it down. Because if you're learning a song, right, and it has a lick that you, and your picking is like that, it's gonna take forever for you to get that one thing down. It's not forever, but it's gonna feel like forever. So you're much better off there to you know, my suggestion is try to get whatever song you're learning up to maybe 60% of the speed. So in that case, you would go like, you know, then that's more doable. And then, you know, if you feel like, well, I feel progress every day, so then keep going. But I find that if you go try to just do one thing, you more likely gonna start doing bad reps, and then you kind of get into this technique death spiral where everything starts getting worse and you just get more frustrated. So I think that's better. Oh, nice. Fish tacos. Don't tell everyone that, Shahar. I have a business around here. If people knew that fish tacos was the answer, come on. But saying that though, I don't think another approach to practice that I'm not, that into is when you like, okay, I have 1 hour per day, or I have 2 hours per day, whatever. Let's say 1 hour per day to practice, and then like, oh, I'm gonna do work on these 6 things, and that means I'm gonna have 10 minutes per thing. 10 minutes, unless it's something that you're really new to, it's not gonna do that much for you. Absolutely gonna help you, and you can still progress in just 10 minutes if you do something really, if you take something you have a problem with, and you do that perfectly for 10 minutes per day, that's absolutely gonna help you. But I think it's better to limit yourself a little bit, or if you can have 6 things you want to work on, but you have use some more of a percentage system instead. So maybe you have 1 or 2 things where you go all in, so to speak. So let's say we simplify it. So let's say you do 2 things at like 1 20% and 1 40%, right? So that's 60%, and you get a lot of time on those things. But then you have 40% left for the remaining 4. Then you can divide that into 10% if you want for each. So basically you have these 1 or 2, I think 1 is more effective, but you can have up to 2 things to focus on and put more time into those. But then you do a little bit of the other things. That's much better, I found, than having everything in like this equal way. And if you really want to up a certain technique, I think it's a good idea to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go like 80-90% of my practice time on that new technique until I feel I've made a significant bump. So yeah, but yeah, I agree, Shahar. But speed, we all have the speed. We can all flop around the fingers, and we can, most of us can do this. But to get it to synchronize, that's where the trouble is, for sure. Metal Maze, how to unlearn wrong technique when right hand synchronization is bad, especially when having done the wrong technique to do this for a long time. How to fix this? Go to the link up there. What I put in the, no, see the link on top, and then you go into the practice room, and this is completely free, by the way. You have paid options as well, but this is completely free. And in the classroom section, you have something called alternate picking deep dive. And that's basically going through exactly how you should practice to get the synchronization correct. And finger choreography and all kinds of really important things that a lot of people don't know about. Or they maybe have heard about it, but they don't do it, so they don't get any benefit from it. So if you're serious about it, do that. It's a half-hour routine. It's not fun necessarily, but it gets you results. And the thing is, you don't have to worry about like, oh shit, I did it wrong for X amount of time. The second you start working in the right way, you're gonna see progress. So don't worry about that. I haven't checked, Shahar, but we're not at 50 yet, so. Hey, vlog. How did the practice go? Did you lower the tempo for the morning practice, Vlad? Let's see. actually exactly at 800 people now in the practice room, so that's pretty cool. Well, I mean, I do that a lot as well. You don't have to have a metronome. For me, teaching-wise, it's good to have a metronome because you can put a, actual tempo. Because if I say, play it slow, it's going to be very different for different people. So actually just doing it can be quite relaxing as well, because sometimes the metronome can feel a bit like pounding, like you sit there like tuk, tuk, tuk. It gets annoying, so. I never watched it. My wife tells me I need to watch it, and I'm going to. We started watching, what's it called? Penny Dreadful. If you watch that one, it's just 3 seasons. I watched it back in the day, but it still holds up. It's really gory, and it's just a cool storyline with a Victorian London, and they have all these like weave in Dorian Gray and Frankenstein and all that shit. Really good. That's Eva Green and Timothy Dalton, Josh Hartnett, and other people. I mean, that's perfect now for the Halloween feelings. Oh, he's very much alive. He was also in that spin-off to Yellowstone. Hey, Jordan. Yeah. Yes, we do. And I'm married to a Brit, so we really, really do. So. Now we're having a Halloween party tomorrow here. I think you're thinking, maybe you're thinking of Thanksgiving. That's mostly, that's an American thing. Yeah, did you get that gap click or did you just program it in your DAW? Alright, the 801st member here. Oh, it's Mace. There we go. Do I look like a trained monkey over here, Shahar? If you tip me, I will do it. No, sure I can. I mean, it's kind of funny to me that string skipping is its own thing, because it's just going, you know, and I think to a certain point, it's not going to be very practical. The purpose of it, in my mind at least, is to get you know, bigger intervals. So I would try take the 3 note per string scales, for example, and then just go. Alright, so take every other one here. So I have the whatever works, Vlad, doesn't matter. Do you get that, Shahar? And but I mean, it's endless what you can do with it. So hey Ryan, yeah, it is. It's because a lot of people, I mean, if you want to learn a new scale, learn it first on one string, on all 6 strings. Then you can work on it in pairs, and then you can do the 6-string patterns, or you know, however many strings you have on your guitar. You weirdos out there with 7 and 8, it's greedy. 6 is enough. But then the next logical step would be to, you know, okay, I'm just gonna. Actually, you can turn us into the thing that I mentioned earlier about improvising, where you improvise. And I usually do this. What you improvise, I mean, you're going to be improvising, but you're not going to sound like this great solo because you have limitations to it. But if you take, for example, you're in E minor, just to keep it very simple, then you take the E minor scale, and then you can have a limitation that you do only the G and E string, and then you take one of these thingamabobs, timer, put it on 5 minutes. Can you put it on anything else than 5 minutes? No, impossible. Only 5 minutes will do. No, of course, you can do more, but 5 minutes I find is good enough to, you know, you won't get bored and you get enough reps for it to help you. And then you can just start improvising very slowly, but keep the notes steady. So you go. And the rule here is that you can go and keep going on the E string like this if you want, but you can't go on the B string or anything else. And then you can do that on the B and D string. But keep it at a, you know, slower tempo so you really have time to find. If you play too fast, you kind of you're sitting like, oh shit, you know, that's not good. You want to make it slow enough that you have to focus, which obviously is hard to do now when I'm talking about it, but you have to focus, but you can do it. So, and at first you probably will just do these kind of sequences, but after a while you're gonna get bored with that, since you can only do the G and E strings. You're gonna be like, whoa, what else is there? Like, then you will find some new shit. The hybrid picking, you do it just when you feel for it, or is it a special thing you use it for? It is, I don't think about it in terms of like, if I do, it sort of just happens because I'm used to doing it. But then sometimes it's special things that I would have a really hard time doing without the hybrid picking. So, but I use the same approach there, where I would try to just improvise. At a tempo where, you know, I can do it. And then you learn how to incorporate this on sort of a automatic level. Josh, any suggestions to learn the 3-note string pentatonic scale? They're insanely stretchy. Well, depends on how you use them. When I use it like that, yeah, it's kind of stretchy, but I pretty much never do this, where I go like... I just don't find it practical, right? But using these... So basically I have a pentatonic, E minor pentatonic, then I have to extend it to the next note. But as you can hear, this sounds kind of lame. You get that repeated note, so then you have to use certain patterns here to mitigate that. So this one is really cool. That's stole that from Key Marcello. So basically, the pattern is basically 5 notes like this. So if you number the notes from left to right, 1, 2, 3, we go 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. When you do that on each string, you can actually get through the scale. Yeah, but maybe you haven't gotten it down enough, Kenneth. So, because if it's at a level where you have to be like, whoa, here comes the hybrid picking, it's going to be really hard to be spontaneous with it. So you might have to do a bunch of more reps. Anyway, back to the pentatonic. So basically these kind of patterns, and you can combine it with a lot of different things. So that's the approach I use. And actually a better way to go, if you want to do the 3-note per string thing, is to use a hexatonic scale. And that's just a fancy word for a 6-note scale. Hexa is 6, penta is 5. So what 6-note scale can you think of that's very similar to the minor pentatonic? I'll wait. So what 6-note scale is very similar to the pentatonic? Yes, the blues scale, exactly. Good job. So if we do this in A, so we have, so it's 1, flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, flat 7, right? So now we can actually play that on one string set like this. So you go 1, so we do 1, flat 3, and then we take the 4, put that here, yep. So we have this first, and then we have this note, that's normal. Then we need to move this note here, so we get... Then we can do that in octaves, so... Exactly the same thing here. Right? But now, that's what most people use who do this. Yeah, I think it was really cool when that came out. I don't listen to it now, but when that came out, like the first one in 97, I think, and the second one 98, there wasn't a lot of, shreddy stuff getting released around that time. So that was cool to see. But anyway, so you have this one. Root. Lowest one. Now we can start on the flat 3 instead. So we got 1, flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, flat 7, 1. So, weird, but and then you can do the same thing from the fourth. So that's gonna be this one, this one. That's pretty cool. And then you have 1.5. It's basically a mirrored version of this one. And then you have the last one, which will be no, second to the last one. This one from the fifth, where my brain is not braining. Yeah, that's a kind of weird one. But it still works once you get into it. And then the last one would be. Do it down here. And they're really a lot of, you know, all kinds of stuff you can do with it. And that's some, you know, nostalgic 80s Paul Gilbert, Bruce Boyer type fudge stuff you can do. But it's funny because when I show stuff like this, some students are like, wow, that's so modern. But it's like Paul Gilbert showed this in his first instructional video, which was made in like '87 or something. So, but it's just a good thing to work on, because you all the 3 note per string stuff that you're already comfortable with, it's just easy to, you can incorporate that. So and then, you know, what I just went up that one and then went down this key Marcello-esque type of thing. So it's cool stuff. And you can work on it, you know, to get used to it. You can take, if you're used to like those kind of sequences, just do the same. And you know, it's just the same sounds as it's the same notes as the normal blues scale, but the kind of phrasing things you can get out of it is different than the normal blues scale. So, and also the normal blues scale is a nightmare when it comes to try to play that at any type of speed, right? Because it's such an unpredictable scale. The normal pentatonic, 2 notes per string at least, but this one you have like 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. Go to the next one, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. It's like, yeah. Whereas now we have 3 everywhere. And also this one you have to move around a lot, and that impresses everyone who doesn't play anything. Any more questions? It's going to be a bit of a shorter one today. Well, I would say definitely work on so you get the normal major scale shapes down. It's 7 of them, and you know, once you know that, you know all the positions for all the related modes as well, because I think that's super important to know. But nothing stopping you from doing this a little bit as well. And that's a thing you can do as well. Do it on 2 strings. No, did I screw it up here? Oh, there we go. So it's fun to get this stuff together. Just about learning the fretboard and actually taking a minor, the blues scale. Just getting used to it on a single string is really helpful as well. Cool. All right. I'm gonna go, but before I go, again, make sure you check this out. This one, the premium, is very, very nicely priced, I think, for all the stuff you're getting. So go check that out if you haven't already, and see you in the next one. Okay, yeah, so Jelly, check this out. Hold on. So this is a really important way of practicing it as well. So this is a 3-part, is it a 3-part series? Oh, it's a 5-part series. Anyway, check that out, because it teaches you a routine where you can go from root to root, so you can recognize the scale from any note. Yeah, but if you go through the link that I just chucked in the chat here, you'll find that going through that, you start seeing the logic behind it. And that's super important, because otherwise, like I said, you're just playing patterns, and that's not going to be as helpful. All right, thanks for hanging out. See you next time.